Good morning. We are here for the 5-day mindfulness challenge. So welcoming you here to Juno. Hi, welcome. So we are going to today bring ourselves into this challenge, 5-day challenge. I'm going to be here each morning. I am in Juno Beach in Florida and wanting you to take this challenge with me to practice and maybe find out about this thing called mindfulness. So happy you're here and excited to be here. It's overcast as you can see, but temperature is amazing. I know it was going to be really cold in Philadelphia today and rainy, so expecting the sun to join us by lunchtime. So we are really happy to be here. And one of my things that I love to do, if you look through my feed, is to take people, as we practice mindfulness, around the world. Susan, hi. I am in Juno, Florida. Juno Beach. So, and really, really happy to be here. After being home from Spain for 5 months now, I have been craving the sun. So happy to be able to have this chance to be here and to practice. So we are going to talk about mindfulness, right? Because this is this thing. Mindfulness is this practice that really did open me up to myself and this idea of being in the moment, allowing ourselves to practice living in the moment without judgment and with kindness. So for me, one of the hardest parts of this journey was practicing kindness, because I was so used to beating myself up, so used to judging myself and feeling like I wasn't good enough. And I think this is the norm for our brain and for our body chemistry. You know, unless you have grown up with people in your house who were already practicing this type of living. So we're going to learn today, and I want you to join me and take this challenge of practicing. Like, can I begin to understand what this living in the moment means? So for right now, for me, it is sitting here feeling the breeze, listening to the ocean, which hopefully you can hear too, watching the grass in the wind. So what is going on right now in your moment? So I want you to just take a few seconds to just put yourself in your moment. And maybe you're getting ready for school. Maybe you are in the car. Maybe you're at the gym. Just take this time to be present to what is around you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So welcome, Fernanda. Glad you're here. So how do we do this whole mindfulness thing? Well, we first have to begin to notice how distracted we are. That's the first step. So can you begin to notice distraction and when it comes, right? Because for some of us, it is constant, this distraction. It is the water in which we swim. So we want to start to notice we can get distracted by our thoughts. We can get distracted by our body. You know, it gives us signals that, oh, shit, my chest is heavy. You know, I must be worried about something, or I'm scared, and I don't want to feel that, so I'm just going to ignore it. We get distracted by other people. We can get distracted by worries, by anger. One of our big distractions, if you're a parent, is our kids, right? And the worry that we have for them. And we also want to realize that, you know, that worry, they can feel it. So we want to stop worrying and begin to live this moment. So the first thing of our challenge today is practicing being in the moment. So becoming aware of distraction. Because every time we're distracted, we're out of the moment. So I want you to just start to become aware of that. And we need to begin to just become aware and realize that our attention is a choice. We choose to pay attention. And sometimes we choose to pay attention to things that don't help us. A lot of the times we're choosing to pay attention to things that don't help us, like worry, frustration, anger, and we get stuck there. Here we have some birds. Love of ducks. So we want to start to really bring our attention to right here, right now. And in this, you know, in the age that we're living, distraction is kind of how we've been raised, especially for the younger generation, right? They have no concept of waiting. For people in our generation, there is the concept of waiting. So, you know, I'm 52 years old, and I do remember having to wait for things. But as we're raising kids, we are raising this generation of instant gratification, right? So we want to just be aware of that and know that it's not their fault, but that we can practice patience with them too, as we are doing this practice on our own. So we want to, when we notice distraction, practice being right here, right now, bringing our attention back. So this is what it looks like. So you might be, you know, you might be trying to pack the kids' lunches, or you might be getting ready for work, and all of a sudden a thought pops in your head, and you're like, oh, I got to do that. Yeah. So as soon as that thought pops in, you're just going to bring yourself right here, right now, and bring yourself back. And the easiest way to bring yourself back is to be in the body. Okay, so to be in the body means to notice your attention in your body. And sometimes as women too, we don't want to be in our bodies. We've been told our body is supposed to look like this. Even men these days, right? So that being in our body and the embodiment is so important. It's the only place we can be in the present moment. So we want to start to embody the moment. So right now, embodying the moment to me, or for me, is feeling my sits bones in the sand. Feeling the breeze. And just feeling grateful for being here with you today. So we get to do this practice over and over and over again every time we start to feel distracted. And this is it. This is how simple it begins. Now, the other part of it that's really important is the being kind to yourself. We are so trained to beat ourselves up. And what we want to do is basically say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I am going to practice loving myself. That's it, being kind to myself, letting go of the judgment, letting go of the criticism, and stop comparing yourself. So how does that feel? For those who have joined, how would it feel if you could really start to be kind to yourself and to realize that you're amazing just the way you are? Right? So what would that feel like? Put it in the comments. What would it feel like to just love yourself? Well, I can tell you that it feels pretty damn good. And it is a choice that we can make. So how do we do? So part of this challenge is going to be to start practicing mindfulness on the daily. And the first way to practice is informally. So informally, we will practice by just noticing when we go into autopilot. And autopilot is this. A good example of it would be when you're driving. You know, we already are, most of us are comfortable with driving. We don't have to think about driving. It's something that we just do. So we start to think about other things, and that's our autopilot. The autopilot is to think. And we want to begin to autopilot ourselves to be right here, right now. Okay, so to be experiencing the present moment. Because most of the time our mind is so busy, we're not experiencing it. So we want to bring ourselves back to right here, right now. So the informal way to do that, I want you to pick one thing that you will do mindfully each day. So with full attention. I recently gave up coffee, but prior to that, coffee was my thing that I did every day. And I just allowed myself to fully enjoy that cup of coffee, from the making it, you know, putting it in the little espresso maker, frothing my milk, and really sitting down and enjoying that cup of coffee, not doing anything else while I drink it. Just being in the moment, enjoying the taste, feeling the mug, really tasting the boldness of the coffee. So I'm kind of missing that, but I am, you know, trying this thing out being caffeine free. So what could be your thing? It could be something as simple as brushing your teeth that you do every day, that you could begin to start paying attention to mindfully. What is that one thing that you could do? It could be washing the dishes. It could be brushing your hair. It could be taking a shower. And you don't have to do the whole thing with this idea of paying attention, but when you're in the shower, it feels so good to just feel the water touching your body, right? To smell the soap, to feel the soap on your skin. This is the way we do it. This is the way we practice being in the moment. So if you're watching and you want to join this challenge, what is one thing that you want to do informally? And if you watch this after, put it in the comments. What are you going to do? And don't think about the things you're already doing that you do mindfully, like walking the dog or something like that. One thing that you're going to put all your attention to when you do it. One thing a day. So for now, mine is I'm reading this book every morning. The Book of the Awakening. The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. Right. Okay, Fernanda's going to brush her teeth. Fantastic. Hi, Jess, too. I see you're here. Dean, Cindy. What are you going to do? Put it in the comments. What can you do? One thing. For you, Dean, maybe it's looking into that beautiful baby of yours and her eyes and not getting distracted, allowing yourself to stay present with her. That would be beautiful. And so I want you to practice this and really bring attention to it. So when you're brushing your teeth, for example, you're noticing each tooth as you brush. Okay, Susan's going to do on your dog walks. All right. Awesome. So when you're on your dog walks, you're not checking your phone. You are totally into listening to the sounds, seeing everything around you, being present to your heart. Right? This amazing work of opening your heart, that's what this is. So I feel so fortunate to have been doing this work now for 12 years and to have really found my purpose, right? And my purpose is just to be here on this earth, living my life with integrity and being able to help other people do that too. So for informal practice, right? This going through our day and living in the moment. So that's what we want to do. And then if you want to take it one step further, we're going to practice formal practice, which is just sitting and breathing. Right? Maybe it doesn't even have to be sitting. It can be laying. It can be walking. But all you're doing is noticing the breath in your body as you're walking. All you're doing is noticing right here, right now. And so we're going to do a practice today with just breathing. And we'll just practice for maybe 5 minutes. And we're going to connect to our bodies and just breathe. Before we do that, though, I wanted to read to you from the book today. And it is this quote that I loved. So it's called The Center of the Eye. And in keeping the center of the eye empty, the miracle of life can enter and heal. So it's not by chance that the dark center of the human eye, the pupil, is actually an empty hole through which the world becomes known to us. Likewise, in a spiritual sense, the I, meaning I, myself, is the empty center through which we see everything. It's revealing that such a threshold is called the pupil. For it is only when we are emptied of all the noise and dreams of the ego that we can become truly teachable. So our chief work as human beings rests in the sincere effort to allow that central presence too informs us. right? So therefore, all forms of prayer and meditation are aimed at keeping the center of the I empty. So the miracle of life, in its grace and immensity, can enter and heal us. So that's just a little excerpt from Mark Netbo, the Book of Awakening. So let's practice right now just breathing. So I want you to close your eyes. If you can't close your eyes now, if you're doing something, hopefully if you're driving, and closing your eyes, but maybe pull over and just take 5 minutes. Close your eyes and erase the many thoughts and images that arise, one after another, as if your mind is a blackboard and your breath is a sponge wiping each appearance clean. So we're just connecting into our breath. And maybe you just get to tune into the sounds of the waves. The birds. Being in your moment. Is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. In a world that at this moment seems so insane. We need to give ourselves time to connect to our inner wisdom and peace, right? Connecting into that nothingness. Nothingness so that we can connect back into ourselves. So each time you notice yourself thinking, you're getting distracted, and just bring yourself right back to right here, right now. Feeling your breath in your body. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Also, put in there what you are going to practice informally, right? What are you going to practice noticing during the day and fully bringing yourself into the moment? It's one of those moments like when you're distracted, right? When you're thinking about other things, when you're so busy that your mind is just moving, how can you bring yourself back in? Thank you for joining Fresley Consignment. And what are you going to do? What are you going to practice informally? So I want to thank you for joining me this morning. It is my pleasure to bring you to Juneau, Florida. We'll see where we're going tomorrow. We'll be in Juneau, but I don't know where. Listen to your students. Beautiful. Oh, you're so welcome, Susan. I hope I get to see you soon. Trip to North Carolina in my future. Mindfulness from North Carolina. There we go. All right, so wishing you all a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow again. So 5-day challenge. This is going on until Tuesday. Your challenge for today. Notice distraction. Practice becoming aware of it and practice informally. Pick one thing to do today where you bring your attention fully to it. If you want to really challenge yourself and you're a parent, choose being present to your kids, not being on your phone. When they ask you, give them your eyes, you give them your body, you give them your heart so that you can truly listen. Not easy, but makes it beautiful. Oh, you're so welcome, Naples Mom. Thanks for joining. Join me tomorrow. Happy to have you join. And again, tomorrow, 8 a.m. I think it's going to be sunny tomorrow too. So for those back following me in Philadelphia, join me for the sun. And we had someone join from Spain. So Jess, I hope it's sunny there. And wishing you all a beautiful day. Bring your mindfulness into your day. Bring your attention. Allow yourself to start to control your mind. Right? The mind is this thing that wants to keep getting distracted, but we want to pull that attention in. Reminder of that pupil, right? We want to empty ourselves. We want to let go of all of this craziness and chaos in our mind and connect to our hearts. So wishing you a beautiful day. Have a great one. See you tomorrow.